Be careful.
All right, is everybody ready to go? Okay, it's nice seeing everybody. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stracco?
Here.
Mr. Stewart is absent. Mr. Rodelius?
Here.
Ms. Gutschall?
Here.
Mr. D?
Here.
Ms. Christie?
Here.
Mr. Stevenson is absent. Mr. Zupnik?
I'm here.
And Chairman Boxer.
Here. And open public meeting statement.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Bedminster Township Land Use Board was filed with the Township Clerk and sent to the Bernardsville News, Bernardsville, the Courier News, Somerville, and to all subscribers and posted at the Township Municipal Building, 1 Miller Lane, Bedminster, New Jersey, on January 13, 2016.
Great. And if everybody could rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. We need to catch up on minutes for March the 10th. I'm sure everybody had a chance to review them. Any additional comments that haven't been submitted to Trina? No? Okay. So we'll do a motion to approve March 10th minutes, please.
So moved.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, Mr. Rodelius, and all in favor of March 10th?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And April 7th, same. Everybody see it? You good?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there, okay. All right. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Gutschall, and all in favor?
Aye.
And I recuse.
And, okay, perfect. All right, we've got two resolutions, one of which, let's see, I'll have to abstain from, just I wasn't here, and MLG. So the first one is Board 15016, Block 3701, Lot 1, which is, of course, Fiddler's Lamington River Farm. And I'm sure everybody had a chance to review it. We need a motion to approve the resolution.
Motion approved.
Okay, a second? Okay, roll call vote, Trina?
Mr. Stracco?
Aye.
Mr. Rodelius?
Aye.
Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
And Ms. Christie?
Aye.
Okay. Tom, can I sign this one if I wasn't here, or do I need Carol to sign this? All right, so we'll get Carol to sign these. And, okay, and the second one, of course, is Land Use Board 2015013, which is Block 57, Lots 14 and 15. And this is MLG, 101 Oaks Road. And, we need a motion to approve this one.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, Mr. Rodelius?
I'll
Ms.
second.
Christie, and we'll do a roll call vote.
Mr. Rodelius?
Aye.
Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Ms. Christie?
Aye.
And Chairman Boxer.
Aye. Okay, great. Let me just sign this one. All right, so, all right, public comments. Anybody in the audience that would like to make a statement, come up and make a comment about any particular item that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay. Need to go through determinations of completeness. Gordon White, Land Use Board 16003.
Mr. Chairman, this is an application for a single-family home on Okora Lane for an addition. It requires some setback variances. I wrote a letter dated April 15th. There are a number of items where the application is incomplete. I've had conversations with the applicant's engineer, and they intend to get everything in, and they have requested, at least tentatively, to be scheduled on the June 2nd agenda. In my opinion, they can get the documents in and be heard at that time. So what I would do is, for tonight, deem it incomplete, and then second, we can have an additional completeness hearing before we have the public hearing on the application.
Okay. All right, so motion, do we need a motion to approve this one complete?
You already deemed it incomplete? Letter, I said it was incomplete.
We don't do it? Okay.
So we will put it on for completeness review on June 2nd. It wasn't noticed for tonight, was it, Trina?
No.
All right, perfect. All right, this one is Pinconey Residence Land Use Board 16001.
Mr. Chairman, this is an application for the construction of a single-family home where there are a number of variances required. I wrote a completeness letter dated May 2nd. In that they've submitted some of the additional information that was required. are a couple of items that are still outstanding, but I would not have any problems with it being deemed conditionally complete, subject to those documents being submitted at least 2 weeks before the hearing. There are things like county applications and tax certification of paid taxes, kind of routine documentation.
And it says scheduled for May 5th. Other than tonight, do we have a scheduled date for this one?
Well, this one we have to discuss because Tom Collins is recused from this application. We have the conflict attorney, Mike Sullivan, who's available for basically, what is it, 29th and 30th?
June 29th or June 30th.
And we were looking to not have the June 9th meeting. And so our second meeting in June would be that 5th week of the month. I don't know what schedules are like. The 8th is a Wednesday, the 29th is a Thursday,
And when's the July 4th weekend?
that following weekend.
Following
It's
week.
that weekend.
It's early that following week.
Yeah.
It comes the
I
next
will
week.
not be here. Me
I
neither.
don't think I'll be here either.
Me neither.
Okay, best I can do is reach out to Mike Sullivan and ask him when is he available in
July.
July. Because originally, yeah, his schedule didn't.
Looks like it's going to be difficult. I'm not sure we'll have a quorum.
Okay.
What are you talking about again?
Either the 29th or the 30th. Wednesday or a Thursday.
And that would
That's
be,
right, when school gets out. That's the 4th of July weekend.
that's the Thursday before 4th of July weekend?
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I can be here.
I think that's going
I'll
to
be
be a tough
away.
weekend.
Okay.
So let's just
I'll
talk
be
to them. We
fine.
can get something
Okay.
scheduled.
Okay, so then I'll have to be in contact with you and let you know when he's available.
Right, since we don't, I'm sorry, David Pierce, Linda Berry.
Hi, how you doing? Nice to have you.
Tony. I was hoping we could actually open the hearing and adjourn it without further notice, but if we don't have a specific date, we won't be able to do it. So
Right.
we'll have to renotice.
Yeah, we'll try and get it. I mean, unfortunately, with the conflict attorney, we're probably going to have to just work with him a little bit on a date.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
That's fine.
but we'll try to do it as quickly as we can, for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'll reach out to him tomorrow and then I'll copy you on the email.
Okay, great, thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. All right, so we don't need to take any action on this tonight, I assume, Paul, right? Although we have to deem it.
You deem it conditionally complete.
All right, so let's have a motion to approve this one for completeness, conditionally complete.
I'll motion.
A second?
I'll second
All
it.
right, and the roll call?
Mr. Strackoff?
Aye.
Mr. Adelius?
Aye.
Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Ms. Christie?
Aye.
Mr. Zupnik? And Chairman Boxer.
Aye, thanks. Okay, third one will be Land Use Board 16005, Block 21, Lot 601, which is Alice M. Rokeshot.
Mr. Chairman, this is an application for an addition on an existing family structure on Holland Road. I had written a letter back on April 27th identifying a number of items that were incomplete. They have resubmitted. I wrote a letter that you probably haven't seen yet if you haven't opened your email today. Again, they've resubmitted everything, and it's my recommendation also that this be deemed conditionally complete. And we can talk about the scheduling of this one when we get, a little further down the agenda.
All right, fair enough. So we need a motion to approve this one conditionally complete.
Aye.
To approve.
All right, good. Lou, and Mr. Joel, second.
I'll second.
All right, perfect. A roll call vote?
Mr. Strackoff?
Aye.
Mr. Adelius?
Aye.
Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Ms. Christie?
Aye.
Mr. Zupnik?
Aye.
And Chairman Boxer.
Aye, okay, thanks. And then the one is Land Use Board 16006, which is Block 4502, Lot 11.
In a continuing theme, this is a existing single-family residence with an addition that requires a variance because of the pre-existing location of the building. I wrote a letter dated May 2nd, identifying a number of items which need to be submitted prior to the application being heard. Again, this is another one that I think can be conditionally complete because the items to be submitted are minor. So that's another one that I think we can talk about getting the agenda set for.
All right, fair enough. All right, so we have a motion to conditionally approve this one.
Make a motion.
Ms. Gutschall? Mr. Strackoff, and a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Strackoff?
Aye.
Mr. Adelius?
Aye.
Ms. Gutschall?
Aye.
Mr. D?
Aye.
Ms. Christie?
Aye.
Mr. Zupnik?
Aye.
And Chairman Boxer.
Aye, okay, great. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, so we'll just rifle through Board member comments, anybody? Everybody's good?
No.
All right. Pending applications, which of course is Land Use Board 16007.
It's an application that I have not yet deemed complete, or haven't reviewed for completeness. Building on Hills Drive, they're looking to make some parking lot modifications to that site. That's the one that we've had a number of applications on that property. I think the most recent one was the emergency generator application we had on that property.
Okay.
Medical building along Hills Drive.
Would it be easier just for logistics tonight to go through the pending apps and maybe try to get a schedule before we sort of hit the hearing?
We can do that. I think what we have looking forward is the June 2nd meeting is the first one to discuss. We've got White.
Already scheduled, yeah.
Sorry, White is what now?
White. It's a Board of Adjustment application for a single-family residence. And anything else on that night?
No,
Trina?
you and I talked about putting Rochat and Russell.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. While it's 3 applications on the agenda, we have a backlog behind it. If we can get those 3 scheduled for June 2nd.
All right, so we'd be White, Roqueshot, what's the other one?
Russ Missile.
Russ Muscle. Okay, fair enough. And then the next meeting, which I think we're going to struggle with, is we had talked about June 29th.
Well, no, you guys can't do that, so that's up to you if we have the June 9th meeting, or originally you were going to cancel the second meeting because we were going to have a special meeting, but if no one can do that, then I can tell you Mike Sullivan is not available any other time in June, so it's going to have to move to July.
Would it make sense, Paul, I know you and I have a conflict that day, would it make sense to maybe look at the week after, or do you want to just do it on the 9th?
We can do it on the 9th. I think what would be the application to be heard, the Chesson application, which was going to be on tonight, and that needs to be carried forward.
Will they be ready on the 9th? Do we have any?
I spoke to the attorney yesterday. I believe that they would be. Frankly, I think the level of discussion on that application is relatively minor. And again, I don't want to jam the board.
Right.
Second, but, I think you could get through 4 applications on the second, because 3 of those are really simple hardship variances for existing dwellings. So, I think they're not coming. Trina's giving me the think, but I got to tell you.
Help me out, Tom!
I'm not kidding between you two.
Well, we're canceling the 9th, though, if we're not having a special meeting. I'm confused now.
It's classified.
Just, okay. Hey, any night that I don't have to be here, that's
If I tell
okay.
you may not be able to.
Need to know basis.
Yes.
Okay.
You have to be right into this.
You left that training too early.
Paul and I have a classified mission, I'm sorry.
A-okay, A-okay.
All right, where's the camera?
Carol stayed for the whole training.
Okay, so we can cancel June 9th on our
No, I think we're going to have June, didn't you say?
No, I'm saying let's do 4 on the second.
Okay, all right.
And again, last time everybody scheduled for the night showed up.
Do 4 on the second.
It's gonna happen, that's because you said
That's
that.
the other thing, we've never had everybody show up and
Coffee,
schedule.
donuts. All right, you good? All right, so we'll do 4. So what's we're going to put Chesson on the
Chesson
second.
Yeah.
Chesson would be first, followed by those other 3 single
All right, so
family.
we'll knock out Chesson first on the agenda. All right.
And that's really, frankly, just a discussion of the uses in the building
Okay.
and the timing.
Now,
And
wait,
Tom giving me the eye too.
No, I agree, and they're supposedly, they're working on trying to resolve their issues, so we'll see.
And because we have so many in the hopper, I'll try to make
Excuse me,
progress.
what's scheduled for next week?
Let cemetery.
Oh.
Does
That-
no
is
one
that
read
the
my
only one?
emails? My feelings are so
Trump's
hurt.
presidential
You
library.
do, I know.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to miss that. I'll be waving over
Change this
Mar-a-Lago on my way to the
Cemetery
Keys.
to library.
Yeah,
That's it, just the cemetery.
Hello?
May 12th, yeah, that's on your schedule.
Wait, but we
Yeah,
still have Veterans Tour, we just need
Not
to.
big enough for that.
Can't make it up.
Yeah, he only has 500 acres, it's not enough.
The next week.
So we just do it next week.
They haven't made a library in Gold yet.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could just make a note, Katrina out that Bedminster 2 funding was supposed to be next week.
Oh.
They've asked to be carried to July. We can't formally carry that tonight, right, Tom?
That's
So
true.
it has to be done next week. I will not be here next week. So
Well, we can carry it next week, right?
Well,
next week you have to do it, but I won't be here to tell you that.
That's fine, that's right.
they have to adjourn to July,
Yeah, nice.
knowing that they'll have to renotice for whatever
Right,
date we.
problem.
That's fine.
Right.
Look, I think that's fine. I think I think we'll be able to knock it out. I think
That
it'll
one
be
and
fine.
that one.
Yeah, he said
12.
that he would renotice.
What's the
This
July,
one's
just for the
postponed to
planning, what does
July,
July look
and
like
this
with
one's
July?
not.
We have the 7th and the 14th
7th and the 14th.
are our hearing, our meeting dates, yeah.
7 and 14.
And Bedminster 2 asked to be carried or adjourned to the second meeting in July.
14th.
So as of right now, we have nothing for the 7th, we just have the 14th.
Good.
So July 7th is open at the moment.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
and Paul put half of our agenda on the 2nd, so,
I'm not-
on June 2nd.
All
So we'll be in pretty good shape
I'm
after
trying to
that.
do some aggressive scheduling here.
Preloading.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, look, we'll try to make it work, that's all. Okay. All right, thanks, I appreciate it. All right, so why don't we, on Quantum Float Land Use Board 15012, Block 58, Lot 1.
This is all theirs.
Pretty good final. too.
Feel
I
free
haven't-
to-
Haven't seen that photo, though.
Oh, no, I didn't bring it.
Oh,
I just hadn't had a look at it yet. Thank you. That I
There's a
got.
bunch of stuff. That's what they're, what they had originally said is they wanted to move this over. And what they've decided to do is, this is going to be the existing barn, and they're just adding this on.
Yeah.
So there were some changes, all right? And the last time they came, they were going to keep the building that's in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think tonight, the plan says they're taking it in. So now their lot coverage won't be as much. And now, what this is how they're going to design the front building. Because we didn't know how they were going to design the front building.
Hi, good
They
evening.
went back
Nice
to
to
Good
be
evening.
back.
Good evening.
Coming
Thank you for having us back. My
cool.
apologies for the slight delay.
Oh.
So again, for the record, my name is Glenn Williams. I'm the attorney on behalf of the applicant, Quantum Floats, Float Realty. This is Land Use Board, your application number 15-012. This is a continuation, obviously, of the last meeting at which we had presented our principal, who described a bit about the intended use of the property, as well as our architect, who described some of the architectural features of what's intended at the property. And we're somewhere midway through our engineer testimony when we ran out of time. So in the interim, we have really taken into consideration a lot of the comments that were made during the last meeting, particular comments relating to the extent of the impervious coverage. And we've made some changes. Submitted a revised set of plans on April 25th. Everyone should have with them a new plan set, which we will be using this evening. So what we have planned for this evening is really to focus on the engineering testimony. We envisioned on last month's meeting and how much time we may have today that we would not have adequate time to include the planning testimony. So we will return finally for the planning testimony at the next hearing. So with that, I'd like to bring back up our project engineer, George Glody, who will describe the changes made, and also I'd like him to go over the technical subsequent technical review letter received from your board engineer.
Thank you, Mr. Williams, appreciate it.
Now, if you remain sworn in, or if you'd like to re-swear him in.
But I will just confirm, I understand you're still under oath, correct?
Right, thank you.
That's not the easy.
Yeah, please do.
George, if you could take the handheld mic, please.
All right, what I want to do basically is just kind of go over the changes that we made to the plan from the original plans that were submitted. One of the things is, if you remember, the metal shed that was in the back of the building, and we were going at that time to reuse it. We decided that, we're going to remove it and not use it at all. So that's one thing that came off the plans. We moved the handicap space that was on the left side of the building. Now we moved it over to the right side of the building, and that helps with the ramps and everything else in accordance with the architectural plans.
George, just for the clarity of the record, can you just make reference to what page of the plan set you are referring to?
Yes, I'm pointing to the site plan, which is sheet 4 of 10.
Thank you.
A couple of other things that we talked about last time in order to minimize our impervious cover is we reduced the drive aisle from 24 feet to 22 feet in front of the actual building. And also by reducing the length of the parking spaces, which were originally 20 feet, now we reduced them down to 18 feet. And what that does is we still have the same 24-foot aisle in the back parking area, but because we lost an additional 4 feet, it brought the curb lines in away from the property lines on both sides, and also 22 feet gives us more room against the property line on this side as well, on the south side of the property. We also removed 2 parking spaces. The original plan had 23. We have 21. As I said, we reduced the amount of impervious cover throughout the entire site. And
What's the new calculation?
I'm sorry?
What's the new calculation?
New calculation for proposed is 17,037 square feet. And that calculation is shown on on the sheet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what percentage of lot coverage is that?
That is now, I think it's 61%. Down again from what was before.
61.3 according to the map?
Right.
Okay, 61.3.
And I think we were at, I want to say, I think it was 73 beforehand. I've got 2 numbers. I've got 68% and 73% from the original plan, so I can't remember which one was which.
On your cover sheet, look on your cover sheet, it says 44.
That was existing.
This was the previous.
So the previous was 68%.
Oh, previous meaning the last set of...
The last set of plans, yes.
Okay, I got that.
Right. What else did we do? We also added a trash enclosure that's located at the bend just before you go into the back parking area. And we also reduced the FAR on the site from down to a little bit less than what we had. We had 0.6. We're now at 0.245. So it's been reduced a bit from the existing plans. One of the things that we also had done since the last meeting is we also had our wetlands expert prepare a letter, and I just got this yesterday, so.
Yes.
I don't have a whole lot of them here, but I can.
Hey, we can just pass it down.
Well, I have a few of them.
Thank you
so-
very much. I'll just share with
Do we have an exhibit number? What's our last exhibit number?
I have, it'll be 8-5.
Here, Tom.
Okay, so this will be A6.
No, this will be.
Oh, well, this will be A5, okay.
You want us to?
Yeah, sure.
Today's date. Tina, if you could mark your copy if you have one. That'd be good.
Yeah, good.
So it's 8/5, today's date. A letter from Mr. Wade Wander Ecological Consultants, and I take it, Mr. Glody, you are relying on this, and maybe you could just quickly summarize what it says.
Basically, what he says in his letter is the fact that there are no wetlands on our site, but there is wetlands, man-made wetlands on the property next door in the that's the detention basin there. But because of the type of wetlands that it is, there are no buffers associated with that. That's pretty much it.
And just for clarity, the adjacent property to which side?
It would be to the south side.
To the south side.
Before we leave this drawing, Claudia, I did have one quick question about the trash.
Yeah.
Does the garbage truck get to the trash?
Well, it's basically garbage cans from what I think the owner had testified to. So it's not really like a dumpster enclosure where we roll one out. It's actually just some place to put cans in.
I see. And so there's a gate here somewhere where the
Yes.
garbage truck can...
Well, I think the stuff is brought out to the street, correct? So it's actually brought out.
You have to bring it out.
Right. So no garbage truck will have to come into the site to pick up or anything.
Oh, okay.
Very minimal, that they'll be producing, waste. So they really don't need a big dumpster or anything like that.
Very good.
Just one other thing too, this is a different presentation. It's kind of the same site plan, but which one? Just
Before you start, let's mark that in color. It looks like a colorized version of
the site plan.
the site plan, which is what of the plan set?
4 of 10.
4 of 10. Okay, so A6 will be the colorized version of B4 of 10.
The A6?
A6.
And basically what this shows is the orange that shows up on the plan. You want me to turn it a little bit? Or?
I can see it.
The orange that's shown on the plan is the area of impervious that we removed from the site, from the original plan to the new plan. It kind of gives you an idea of what had come off the plan since then. So, we have reduced quite a bit, and that helps a lot. I think the only other issue that has come up is on the impervious cover. We have gone through the calculation and we determined that we are under a quarter of an acre of additional impervious cover on the site. Paul, I think you disagree with what we've come up with. So I just wanted to kind of go over that a little bit just to see what we could do, because originally we interpreted the site as the ground that's on that site is like concrete, and very hard, and water basically runs off of it. I did impervious cover because compact. Paul agreed with that and said that it's not to be considered impervious cover. So because of that, that increased our proposed impervious cover to over a quarter of an acre, which puts into the category of having now to go along with the state stormwater management systems, which means infiltration and TSS removal of suspended solids, which means we would have to put probably like a $10,000 jellyfish unit to remove suspended solids from the catch basins before it goes into the detention system. It's kind of an expensive item for something that we're very, very close to not needing at all. And I think that's the only thing that we're a little bit concerned about.
No, thanks. So if we were to separate, maybe it'd be easier to separate the issues, right? Maybe we can just stay focused on, we have to get Paul to weigh in a little bit on this because it's going to be an interpretation question. Can we maybe just focus on any other, so with respect to the coverage, the parking, the new calculation now is 17,000 square feet, a little bit more, et cetera. Is that really the extent of the change?
That's the extent of the changes. I basically presented to you everything that we've done to revise the plans.
That's perfect. So why don't we just maybe stop there, and then we can then go into chapter 2, which is the stormwater. How do we address stormwater and this interpretation?
Let's maybe take a half a step back there because, and I agree, we talk stormwater separately.
Yep.
In my second letter, I identified a number of items that, in my opinion, should be modified on the plans. I frankly don't think any of them amounts to heavy lifting.
Right.
And but I do think we need some clarification for the record on a couple of items. And it goes back to the first page of my letter because on the cover sheet, for example, it said the side yard setback was 1.8 feet, but on sheet 4, the dimension provided was 1.7 feet. So we need to have that clarified.
Well, I'm sorry, what was the plan say?
On sheet 1.
I have the cover, yeah, I have the cover.
And it says 1.8 feet. On sheet 4, there's a dimension, and it says 1.2. I just wanted to make sure we have the correct number for Tom.
No. What's right?
It depends what gutter we use. We use
Yeah.
a 6-inch gutter or a...
Yes.
We will conform.
We'll conform. I mean, it's a matter of whether, like you said, a 6-inch gutter or a 4-inch gutter on the building.
Assuming you would request 1.8 feet, there is some flexibility in there.
Yes, I would say we go.
So
yeah.
that means the cover sheet would be changed to say 1.8.
1.8.
1.7.
Yes. 1.2 would change to 1.7 feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The sheet 1 would be changed.
We're going to change it to 1.7?
Yes.
1.7, right.
And likewise, the parking and driveway setback, it says 3.6 feet, but sheet 4 says 3.8 feet. That really boils down to is which dimension was your impervious coverage calculation based on?
Well, this coverage calculation is based on...
Well, just for the record,
Yes.
I'm sure council will remind you, you remain sworn in.
Yes, sir, please.
Last meeting, and
Please confirm you're still under oath. You understand you're still under oath?
Yes.
And please state your name and address.
Gregory Vanderright.
Thank you.
Paul, just to answer that question, basically, the impervious coverage calculation was taken based on the perimeter of the curb line all the way around. So it's that is 3.8 or 3.6. I my head, I don't know. One was labeled incorrectly, obviously. The impervious coverage that's shown on sheet 4 on this actual layout. It's based on that poly line that goes around the entire perimeter of whether we're off 2 tenths of a foot. I assure you that the impervious coverage is correct because we actually did that poly line around the entire perimeter.
Right, I just want to know which one is. It's got to be in the resolution.
Okay. Let's
clarify that. We have to come back in anyway.
Yeah, I can clarify that. But it may just be a simple. Let me just check to see what
We might get done with the engineer.
I wish I had a plan.
Okay, fair enough.
Conflict in his schedule, we didn't want to lose this opportunity.
Okay, fair enough then.
Paul, I'm going to say that it's 3.8 is correct, and that 3.6 is the incorrect, but I'll verify that, and we'll get that.
We just need to be consistent.
Absolutely.
We'll straighten that out for the next meeting. We'll make sure. I won't be here for the next meeting, but, they'll be able to give you that answer, which one is which.
And I think now we come to the stormwater management. And that's complicated two ways. The easy, uncomplicating factor is the method of analysis, because Mr. Glody and I spoke with it ahead of time. I think we have come to an agreement as to how he's going to do the calculation.
Right.
The hard question is this or is this not a major development? And that's where it comes to definitions. And under the major development standards, it says that if you increase the impervious surface by more than 1/4 of an acre, roughly a little over 10,000 square feet, major development and need to meet major development standards. The impervious is different, particularly in Mr. Township, than it is from lot coverage. In Bedminster, gravel is considered lot coverage. Our calculation for lot coverage includes all of that. So we always had that. We always have to distinguish between lot coverage and impervious coverage. Impervious coverage is for the purposes of stormwater analysis. I tell you that I have always considered gravel to be a non-impervious surface. I think that's consistent with the DEP definitions, except if you're in the Highlands, where they consider gravel as impervious. So, we're on Pottersville Road, therefore, we're not in the Highlands.
Thank God for those small favors.
So that's where we are. If this project is a major development, and in my opinion, I think it's a reasonable conclusion. Well, we said gravel is not impervious. As George said, they have to deal with the major development standards for stormwater, which means groundwater recharge. It means, which they probably can do pretty easily because of the way their system is designed. They need to meet rate reductions, which again, I think they can probably meet with the analysis. The sticking point is going to be water quality.
Yeah.
And as I said, to water quality standard, you have to get 80% total expended solids level before you get to your underground stormwater system. And that requires, in this case, the installation of a manufactured treatment device. So it's something that, is no question that it is an expense.
Let me ask just a couple of questions. I mean, the last thing we want to do is try to add expense to something that is marginally close to being not a major development. What do they do, if anything, to reduce, and I'll maybe ask the engineer as well, is there anything that you can do to reduce this so that it does not become a major development? As an example, are we able to pull from the driveway to reduce it below the quarter?
Well, it's not gravel at all, because we're not talking about the proposed condition. The gravel relates to the existing condition. The thing that I think it should be done, they originally showed, or on this version of the plans, the wall north of the parking stalls west of the building was shown as a mulched area. I said it shouldn't be a mulched area. Frankly, what I would do is just eliminate it completely. Most parking spaces, people walk behind the stalls anyway. That sidewalk over there won't be used.
I see.
Right. It wasn't in his impervious calculations before, but it won't be in the future either. So I would eliminate that.
Right, it would be out at this point, because if we take it out completely, yes.
Okay.
And the...
We're so close.
I'm trying to work with you.
Thank you.
It's about 2,500 square feet is what the difference is.
No, I don't think it's in that much, right? It's less than that.
I've got to go back and look at the...
If you look on page 2, we have the existing lot coverage and existing impervious coverage. We have 6,000, I think you have 4,800 something in your...
No, you don't read the lot coverage off of there, because...
No, I'm not reading lot coverage. We have two terms on here under total lot coverage of 12,379, but total impervious coverage is 6,201, and that includes the dwelling, the barn, the shed, the shop, the metal shed, and the existing sidewalks.
So that's
including
the existing condition is 6201.
6,178, I'm sorry,
6,201.
6,201, correct.
And the proposed is what?
17,037.
17,037, and that includes eliminating the sidewalk on the north side of those parking stalls.
Wait. If we do the arithmetic there and
We're like 30 square feet under quarter acre of new impervious, I think is what,
Up to
correctly.
.248 of .25.
okay, I was looking at the calculations in the stormwater.
Right, and we realized that as we were doing this round, that the stormwater, it needed to be revised as well in accordance with what we're coming up with. We refined this so much that I got to go back now, and I'm going to have to go back and do the stormwater over again anyways, because we're going to do it with a different methodology.
So
And
what you're saying is the stormwater report is incorrect.
the stormwater report is incorrect at this point, yes.
So what is the square feet overage?
We're under.
We're under by about 30
Yeah,
30
see,
square feet.
What I did not do is, I didn't do the analysis based on the plan, I did the analysis based on the figures in the stormwater report. If you have the numbers in the stormwater report, the increase is like 12,000 square feet.
Right, exactly. And
It's clearly over.
I did the same thing. When I'm going over it again, I was like, wait a minute, no, we're still over. And when I looked at the plans, when we actually have the breakdowns on there, I saw that what we actually have is a lot different than what we had in the stormwater report, which was done from the first go-around,
So it would appear that
If the number is under, it's under.
right,
And it's not a discussion item.
that's my point. So we need to go back and at least verify that, but if you are in fact under, that solves the problem.
Yeah, if you're under a quarter acre, you're under a quarter acre.
Under a quarter of an acre.
I'm not going to argue about that at all.
Not by that much, but that's all I need.
I don't.
So then the only thing we have to do is just,
You made good progress on, and we appreciate the fact you went back and made some minor adjustments. We understand the conditions of the site, we all see
Very
it
tough,
every day.
yeah.
And I think the architecture looks good, and I think, the effort that you put into revitalize it has a lot of merit. And, I think there's a general sense here that what you're proposing at least now makes sense. It would appear that if we had the planner, we might be able to process this.
Yeah.
But without it, that's okay. You've got to go back anyway and just clean up the storm.
right, we're just going to do a couple
So I think what we
things.
want to do is make those corrections, and then when we get you back here, I think we'll be able to get through this pretty quickly.
Yeah, we were hoping, as the planner could confirm with the
There's one, you have one more parking space than you need. Do you want to
Eliminate that.
lose one parking space too? Or why do you want to have more parking than required?
I thought we were right at the, still one over.
Again, that's up there.
And if we're now, we're under.
Well, you needed a variance.
Yeah, you're
Hey
at
there, Glenn.
On your coverage.
You snuck up right behind me. I didn't know it was locked.
think about it. It's
All right,
the board should think about it too. It's to get a little bit
a
less
little bit less.
of a variance on the impervious cover, but you may prefer
And
to
lot
have a
coverage,
parking
too.
space.
I don't think there'd be any objection to eliminating a single parking spot.
Probably eliminate either the one closest to the house or possibly the first one as you come around this little bend in here.
That's really up to you guys.
Yeah. I just want to find out
At
from
this
the
point, I
owner.
think you should make that decision on your own. If the numbers hold true, you'll be under the numbers, and we're not going to really worry too much about it. Tom, it's just purely a recommendation.
Can I just ask two questions?
Please, yep.
Two questions. The first question is, I noticed that the front house has been under some renovation or construction. I wanted to know the status of that, and is that part of this application, the front house, or what's going on with that situation?
Well, the principal, Mr. Kaplan is here. Perhaps he can,
Maybe they give us an update on that.
Under oath.
Yeah, just under oath. Thank you, sir.
I confirm that I continue to be under oath.
Under oath or under float?
Under oath. I wish, yeah.
We don't float under anything, we float on top of.
You sounded very zen-like.
We float on top of.
We were issued permits yesterday
rebuild the porch that we should never have taken down without permits in the first place, and to redo the siding.
You actually have now retrieved the right permits and shit.
Yes.
I do have a question about that.
Hey, Lou, got a question. I mean, were you concerned about, I mean, obviously you asked the question
Yes.
for a reason.
Yes, because that historic district, and I know if they're putting back siding that, and the porch, according to historic, usually in that district, sometimes the historic commission has to approve the kind of siding that you use, the paint colors and other things. And if you take down a porch that's part of an older building, a lot of times they want to make sure you match what's there. So I wanted to ask you if you had gone to the historic commission and talked to them about that.
Yeah. When we took down the porch that never should have been taken down, then I got on the agenda last week of the historic committee.
Great.
And I met with them, and we had shown them plans, and they were okay with it.
That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I have more questions for Mr. Glover. Could you give us a little summary on how this pension system works?
Sure.
It's a little different from what we've seen at some other projects.
Tell you, with some of the sites today, we've become very, very creative as to how we provide stormwater management on these sites, especially if it's a different plan, that's why. Sites are smaller or have different constraints. But basically what this is, it's almost like a big recharge system.
You're now referring to what?
This is the grading and utility plan, sheet 5 of 10. And it shows the stormwater management system, it shows the pipes and the catch basins. Basically what we have here is we have a series of catch basins. There's one here, and there's 2 here. And these all funnel down and go into the detention system. And what it is, it's an open chamber, gravel, and we're promoting recharge into the ground. And we're trying to put is designed, well, it might have to change slightly once we get into the new calculations, but the idea is to hold the entire storms in the system without it spilling over. It should get to a point where it does overwhelm the system. It's designed so that one of the catch basins here would become an overflow. Up in, come over that, out of the catch basin, and go out into the street. Hopefully it does happen, but well, things like Sandy come through and, totally blows the designs right out of the water, literally. But if you look on the detail sheet, page 9. There is a detail of the detention system. And basically, it in cross-section, what we're looking at. It's basically a big, excavation with stone and these chambers. The chambers provide a greater volume because there's not stone, there's no voids, there is plenty of voids because of the chambers. Whereas the stone would just be like a 40% void ratio to go along with that. So it gives us that extra volume that we really need. Years ago, we used to do them where we would just not have the chambers before they came out, and we just dig a big hole and fill stone and design it for 40% voids. But there's so many new types of systems out there that, we're always changing and always looking for new ways to do this.
Are these linear?
Yeah, well, I think
like big tubes, sort of?
they're like half pipes.
Okay.
PVC, something?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
like PVC, and I think
like
they
a
come in
Schedule
like
40
six-
pipe sliced in half,
Yeah,
and they're
6
domed over.
lengths. And I mean, you could see they're not quite a half pipe. They're a little bit, and some of them, they have ribs on them so that they give it that extra
And they
strength
don't
that they need.
crush.
Right. So they're designed for H20 loading, which is for under pavement where there's going to be vehicles, trucks, and so on. That's a highway standard, so that's what they're designed for, and that's why we put those into the parking area. And again, it's gravel underneath it, so we promote everything. We've done soil testing out on the site to determine what the permeability rate is, and we feel that, we'll be able to do it with this system.
Okay, so I have a couple questions in
Sure.
relation. The reason I ask that
is, one of my concerns here is that this property is above the property to the north. It's higher. There's like a retaining wall there. So do you have any concern that you're putting all this impervious coverage that might in any way overflow or push towards the King's parking lot driveways in the back and all that?
No, I don't believe it would, no.
Okay.
It's enough away from there. And I know that I don't think there's, wall is further back. I think in the area right where we are, it just slopes down, just, it's just grass in there, woods or whatever is there. And so the wall isn't a consideration as far as this goes. And on the side is pretty much level with our site, so that's not a problem there. And so I don't believe that's going to be an issue.
Okay, and then the other question I have, the only other question is, because of the design of, the neighbor's lot, and the way it is, it's very narrow, and you're filling most of your water to the underground system, your overflow is to the street, which I'm not an engineer, and of course, but I do 206, the state, they want your water.
No, we understand that. It's only an emergency overflow. It's not like it's going to happen all the time. I said, if we get a Sandy, for instance, where you can't calculate how much water you're going to get at one shot. And I mean, I've designed detention basins for years, and Sandy killed a lot of them because it's just over, the design amounts that we had. And some of them stayed pretty well, actually, too. But some of them, they went over, it went overflows, the emergency overflows, and quite frankly, that's what they're there for. You do get that extreme situation, they're there so you don't blow out your dam or you don't blow out your system inside.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So that is what we have planned for this evening. If there are no further questions or comments,
Make sure anybody from the audience? Nobody? All right.
I have just a small question. There's a question by Mr. Strakov about the gate on the trash enclosure. I don't think you have a detail or a note to that effect. Do you intend to have a gate there, and is it the board's pleasure to have it gated?
I don't think we have a gate shown on there, just the enclosure, three-sided. I mean, we could put a gate on it if the, board chooses.
The board's always had a four-sided enclosure with a gate.
Yeah, this is kind of different because it's not like a dumpster.
Is this
It's just really an enclosure for garbage.
Right, but it's still garbage.
It's still garbage.
I would say probably put a gate.
Okay.
Put a gate.
I think it'll be safe, it'll keep the animals.
Sure, okay, yeah, not a problem.
All right.
Great.
Mr. Farrar, you got anything else?
No.
Okay. So I think the question for us is how do we get you in here and when are you going to be ready to come back?
I believe, again, I'm just looking at my team to confirm because the planner was gone away and will be back for the vote. So we're good for the 12th, if you have room for it. And we should be able to conclude because that's all we have left.
All we have is the cemetery, so we can do it.
Right, that's July 4th? What date is that?
Next
week.
Thursday.
Next
You
Thursday.
guys be ready for next week?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect, that'd be great.
Can we put them up first?
Let's do that. Sure.
Why don't we do that?
So we'll just confirm for the record that
Lance,
the
why don't we put them up
quantum flow application will be carried.
Come on first?
Yeah.
All right,
The quantum flow application will be carried to
That's Kathy right here.
May 12th at 7 p.m.
Trina,
No
can you
further
put that
notice.
first on the agenda so I can hear that and then I'll leave for the cemetery?
Sure.
You're leaving for the cemetery?
He has a reservation.
It's about 40 years.
The newcomer.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right.
We're supposed to do that.
Any other questions, comments? Appreciate everybody's help. All right, motion to adjourn?
No, we want to stay. We want to stay.
We want to stay.
Motion to stay?
Bacon coffee.
All right, we're good? Thank you very much.
Motion adjourned.
Somebody